Hi, I'm WELS President Mark Schrader. Certainly staying close to our Savior through His gospel and word and sacraments is vital for all of us. But there are certain groups of people for whom that's harder to do in a traditional way. For those groups, WELS has various special ministries to keep them connected to Jesus, including to our brothers and sisters in the military.
In a family where Dad's deployment bags have been packed and ready to go for months, just in case, things can sometimes be uncertain and uneasy.
Deployments are now much more contingency focused as we take a look at what's going on in the news with various countries around the world.
Because for this WELS family just outside of Savannah, Georgia, Dad could be sent overseas for months or even a year at a moment's notice, forcing him to miss birthdays, holidays. He's even had to miss the birth of one of his children.
There's been a lot of conversations with the kids because it changes daily, you know? So just kind of being ready for anything.
Michael Hefty has served in the United States Army for the last 16 years. Over that span of time, he's been deployed 4 times and assigned to 10 different duty stations. Most of those moves happening with his wife and children.
There was a period where we moved 4 years in a row. Each duty station was just a year, and that was a little much.
At the moment, the Hefty family is blessed with a WELS church just half an hour away from home, providing regular opportunities to worship the Lord and study His Word with fellow believers, as well as strong Christian support during this time of uncertainty. But that hasn't always been the case.
We have found personally that there is a big difference between live streaming and being able to meet in person and strengthen each other in the faith through that fellowship and through being able to take communion together in person.
And so, thankfully for the Heftys and hundreds of other WELS families in the military, stationed at home and abroad, WELS Ministry to the Military offers opportunities for Christian support.
Our job, our responsibility to our military families is to just be there, just to be present, to listen, to reach out and not just assume that everything's okay, especially when someone in the family deploys. That our congregations just rally around those people and support them.
That's part of the joy.
WELS Ministry to the Military works to provide service members and their families with resources in support of their spiritual welfare. In addition to print materials such as military-themed devotions and prayer booklets, the ministry also provides personal connections, whether that's to a WELS civilian chaplain or to a military contact pastor.
And these are pastors that serve in congregations that are located near military installations.
Without having that understanding myself from personal experience to know what it's like to be in the military and what are the best ways that we can serve them, I think that's just helpful to have those resources, and I don't have to figure it out myself.
If a WELS member serving in the military reaches out to their local military contact pastor, there's a chance that the pastor might be able to come on base.
There was one recruit in particular that followed the protocol exactly. And so because of him, he's the one that got me on base for the Lord's Supper. And through that one connection, me being on base that one time, has now opened up the door for me to lead a Lutheran service on base every Sunday.
The isolation and other struggles that these families face can make something like a deployment even harder than it already is. And that's where the support of WELS Ministry to the Military can be so important.
Our pastor took Mike to drop him off because he knew I couldn't do it. Things like that, just stepping in to some of those situations.
It's really comforting to know that other Christians are supporting the family back home while deployed.
It's important when the congregation just steps up and says, how's it going? Because sometimes you just need somebody to talk to that can share in your burdens.
Without our faith, I don't know how our family would continue or our relationship, Katie and I's, would continue to stay strong. And even the conversation with the kids, as they sometimes have been anxious, very nervous or scared what might happen to Dad on a certain deployment or what we might be training for. And I always remind them, like, the Lord's in control. We have comfort in that, and it doesn't matter, and God will watch over them afterwards regardless of what decision He makes.
Our ministry to the military works hard to develop robust congregational ministry to military members and their families. Our goal is to provide people who protect our nation with a supportive church family and called workers who are sensitive to the stresses of military life. You can join this ministry by registering congregational service members at wels.net/refer.